So once again, I welcome all of you for the Gita class. So today we will, we'll discuss about this verse, a very very important verse. What are the four kind of people who approach Krishna? Hmm. So you can repeat after me. चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
जना सुकृतिनो अर्जुना
जना सुकृतिनो अर्जुना
आर्तो जिज्ञासुर अर्थार्थी
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा.
Anyone would like to recite?
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम
जना सुकृतिनो
जना सुकृतिनो
अर्जुना
अर्जुना
आर्तो
जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा. Anyone else? Okay, so we'll read the translation. Who has a mic? Okay, we can read the translation.
O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute.
Yeah, so what are the four kinds? First one is the distressed, second one is desirer of wealth, third is inquisitive, and fourth one who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So now you may say that these are mixed devotees. Actually they are not there, and here it is mentioned that for pious men who begin render devotional service, so they just come beginning of their devotional service. So they have just started. So like can we have some examples from our Vedic literature, from our Srimad Bhagavatam, where we encountered people with, let's say, first one, distress category. Who are the examples where we see that the distressed category, they approach God? Who? Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj can also be, but he was mostly in the second category. Gajendra, he was in distressed position. Yeah, Gajendra is a good example. Yes, Prabhu. Draupadi, very nice. Very nice. I think I'm not sharing screen. Let me share my screen. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Draupadi is one example. Gajendra is another example. Yeah. Any other example which we can think of? Vibhishan. Yeah, very nice. Very nice example. Yeah, he was distressed by his brother Ravana. So yeah. And second category also we find the desirer of wealth, and that example is Dhruva Maharaj. Hiranyakashyap.
But he did not approach the Supreme Lord. He approached Brahma.
So you are okay. Yes, he approached Brahma. That is correct.
And any other example in this category? Artharthi. I can't think of. Yeah. And then inquisitive. So for inquisitive, one example given is Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami was inquisitive, so he came and sat in the assembly of Shukadeva Goswami, where Shukadeva Goswami was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So that so there he sat, and then he heard that narration. So that he was in inquisitive category. And fourth one is one who is searching for absolute knowledge of the Absolute. So here so we'll read the purport and then we'll further.
Before we go to the purport, so how would you categorize yourself? How did you come into Krishna consciousness? You came here because you were distressed, you wanted wealth, you were inquisitive, or you were searching for knowledge? How would you categorize yourself?
For me, I was inquisitive. Like,
Inquisitive.
yeah.
Okay. I was distressed to be.
Me too.
Okay, distressed.
Hmm?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah.
We are going to discuss about that category now.
Yeah.
Prabhu, what about you?
I was also inquisitive, I would say.
Yeah. Prabhu used to listen to Bhagavad Gita lectures on YouTube even before he came in contact with devotees. So Prabhu is definitely inquisitive. Nice.
But later on, when Prabhupada elaborate in purport that anyhow you come in contact, that is a good fortune. Now you have come in contact with Krishna consciousness by anyhow, whether distressed or whether want of wealth or inquisitiveness or we are searching for knowledge absolute. And in any way, it's a very good fortune. It's a greatest fortune. Has come upon you. That you have come in touch with Krishna consciousness, and you are able to practice it. So yeah, you have some.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the purport and then read further. So yeah,
Yeah,
you can read the purport.
Unlike the miscreants, there are adherents of regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukritina, or people who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are four classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. Uh, the Bhakti Rasamrta
Bhakti
Sindhu
Rasamrit Sindhu
defines pure devotion thus:
अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्माद्यनावृतम् अनुकूलेन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा.
one should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional
Yeah.
service.
So actually here this is like very profound definition of pure bhakti. Bhaktir uttama. That means the top quality of bhakti, top quality of devotion. It is mentioned. So it has what aspects? Anya bhilashita shunyam. That means it is bereft of any other motivation. What is only one motivation is there? What is that motivation? To please Krishna, other than all motivation. So then that kind of bhakti where you only want to please Krishna. So generally we are practicing bhaktas, so our devotion is many times mixed with the our own motivations. For example, if someone is like sometimes we want to sing for the Lord, we want to do kirtan. So there is a desire to please the Lord, but at the same time there is also desire how many people are watching me, how many people are clapping for me.
Dancing or not.
Yeah, dancing or not. Or even if someone is cooking for the Lord, then someone may be looking, how many people come and praise me, how many people say, wow, you have made such a nice feast for the Lord. So that those material motivations are also there. So our bhakti is many times it's mixed with some kind of self motivation. So the pure bhakti means anya bhilashita shunya, means there is no other desire other than to please Krishna.
I would like to add something. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioned one Sanskrit word. Does anyone remember that? Sukritina. Sukriti. So see, like I gave an example. We were discussing that how we came in touch with Krishna consciousness. Someone was distressed. Someone wanted a lot of money. Someone was inquisitive and someone was looking for knowledge. See, why did we decide to take shelter of Krishna, considering we are all distressed, and not go to a therapist? One reason, they're expensive. Let's agree, right? They are pretty expensive. So see, one reason why we had many other options. We could have just went, enjoyed, went to a bar or drank some alcohol, did some intoxication, and we would just get over the distress that we had. But why did we come in touch with Krishna consciousness? Because we had something called Sukriti. What is Sukriti? Srila Prabhupada is defining here. Those people who follow regulative principles, we have some sort of goodness, some sort of mode of goodness to some degree. To some degree, we like when, like waking up early in the morning, eating food which is pretty simple and healthy. We like to have friends who are favorable for our life. So these are some of the sukrutis. Or we have, in the past, this life in the past or in some previous life, we have rendered some service to Krishna or to his devotees and they have blessed us. They say, right, blessings count your blessings. We also, even in the material world, how do we count our blessings? Why blessings are important? Because they increase our sukriti. When our sukriti increases, we get more chances to come closer to Krishna. So that is why. We are taking shelter of Krishna instead of any other, like everything else in this material world. Right. Well, if you wanted to make money, you would go and look for some job, work tirelessly, work like a labor. You can make money like that. So why did you go ask Krishna? If you were distressed, you would go to a therapist. You would go somewhere, go hiking, go do this, do that. But why did you come to Krishna? If you are inquisitive, you would read encyclopedia. If you wanted knowledge, you would enroll yourself in a university. You will go for a PhD program. But why did you come to Krishna? Because somewhere we have something called Sukriti. And when we indulge in devotional service, what increases? Sukriti. Sukriti increases. And when Sukriti increases, we get more chances to come closer to what Prabhu was explaining. That is pure devotional service. Shuddha Bhakti. First we come with mixed devotion and then we go towards, like, there is a glass with muddy water in it. And then you put it under the running tap. Then what will happen? The water, the pure water, the fresh water will keep getting into the glass and the muddy water will keep getting purified. And eventually you will see the glass is pure water. So we just have to do the same thing again and again. Well, same thing I don't mean like keep asking, okay, अब घर हो गया, अब गाड़ी का देखो, अभी गाड़ी हो गया, अब आगे क्या बैंक बैलेंस का देखो. Not like that, okay? When I'm not saying that ask for more desires, but perform the same routine task that we are doing, which is chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. Like we are discussing Bhagavad Gita, we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we chant the holy name of the Lord. Keep doing that. That is the purification process.
Yeah. So and also like just one point here. So actually here Sukritina, when so we are saying Sukritina here actually meaning the best Sukriti is if the Bhakti Sukriti.
Yeah.
So many pious people are there, but if you don't have the Bhakti Sukriti, then it's not possible to come and approach Krishna. One cannot take shelter of Krishna. And then second point mentioned is Gyan Karmadi Anavritam. So Jnana and Karma, Anavritam means to uncover, means it is bereft of the Jnana and Karma. Means it is so when we, because Jnani, what do? They try to do mental speculation. Okay, they try to understand God through their logic or through their mental speculation. And karma, some people try to do karma kanda. So that is karmadi. So it is bereft of any kind of jnana or karma. Mm. So anavritam, so it is bereft of jnana and karma, and it should be anukulen. Anukulen krishnanushilanam means it should be favorable devotional service. Favorable anukulen. Mm. Just like Kansa, for example, Kamsa was all the time remembering Krishna. Mm. But was it Anukul? He was actually making plans to kill Krishna, right? Although he ultimately he also got liberation because he was killed by Krishna, but that is not favorable bhakti. Mm. That is you know that is not favorable. So Anukulan means should be favorable to Krishna. Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. And that kind of bhakti, which has these elements, Anya Bhilashita, Shunyam, and Gyan Karmadi Navritam, and Anukulen Krishna Anushilam. That kind of bhakti is a topmost bhakti. That is why it is called loving devotional service, transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, not grudging service. Sometimes some people give some donation or something, but there is some grudge, like देने पड़ रहे हैं, like they have to give, we are supposed to give sometimes. So like that. So but it should be loving devotional service. Actually we have seen in our life, whenever if you do something with your heart, when you do some loving devotional service with your heart gets satisfaction. Have you felt that? When without any self motivation, without any expectation, if you do render some service to Krishna or to his devotees, you get a lot of satisfaction. So we can actually we can also feel this in our lives also.
One very important point. See, it says Shilanam Bhakti Ruttamam. So if you know little bit of Sanskrit and Hindi and little bit of English, what does Bhakti translate in English? Devotion. Devotion. Right? But Srila Prabhupada writes it as loving service, loving devotional service. You see, this is called pure devotional service in the last line. This is called pure devotional service. Why? Because love is reflected through service. I cannot say that Sacinandana Priya Prabhu, you are very dear to me, I really love you. He said, oh really? I'm thirsty, can you get me some water? He said, no, I can't. आप ऐसे ही बैठो. Then what kind of love is that? What kind of love is that where there is no service? Love, you show how much you love that other person by serving the other person. Love doesn't mean what you say, but what you really do. If you really do what you say, isn't it? So that's why if we have bhakti, or which is translated as love for God, or we want to inculcate love for God, how we can do that? By rendering favorable, loving service to the Lord. So that's why whenever we come to temple and we get a chance, we get any small chance to do service, we should do it. Rohit Prabhu, I have been seeing him coming here since almost last 4 years. And every Sunday he will come and he will render some service. He will come and render some service in the temple. So this is how our mentality should be. Whenever we come to temple, we should try to engage in some sort of devotional service. What will happen? That will purify our heart, and that will take us closer to pure devotional service. All the anya abhilash that we have, expectations, material expectations that we have, that we are gonna get over that. Over that as in what? It's gonna not get fulfilled, it's gonna get fulfilled? No. Our love for God won't be dependent. It will be irrespective of the fact if all those things are taken care of or not. Like, in management, we study this Maslow's hierarchy, Maslow's triangle. There is physiological needs, sociological needs, and there is this top. What is that thing? The smallest triangle? Self-actualization. So when the self-actualization needs are fulfilled, you don't care. When self-actualization needs are fulfilled, that either means that all the following are already taken care of, or you don't care if that is taken care of or not, because you are happy the top thing is taken care of. So similarly, devotion, inculcating pure devotional service for the Lord, is the self-actualization need. Once that is taken care of, everything else automatically falls in place. Or you have the strength to persevere until things fall in place. Now you guys can take this and put this as a puzzle in your life, in whatever aspect and whatever situation we are all in and fighting in our lives.
Yeah. Can someone read further? Yeah.
When these four kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees.
Yeah, so this is very important. So initially we started with that how what kind of people approach Supreme Lord. And we discussed these four categories: either they are distress or want of money. And so that, and we discussed that these people, they are not pure devotees, they are mixed devotees. They have some self motivation also, and they want to please Lord also at the same time. But then we gave the definition of what is pure bhakti. We gave the definition of pure bhakti means anya bilashita shunyam, means no other desire. So now how can one develop from mixed devotion to pure devotion? And here the Prabhupada is giving the key, that it is done by association of a pure devotee. So if one comes in touch with the pure devotee, they also become pure devotee. And Prabhupada is mentioning here that anyhow one comes, by any chance, some let's say you are going in a road, and there is some devotee and you help him to cross the road, or you held the door for someone, some small activity. And so in that way you are depositing your bhakti sukriti, you are increasing your sukriti. So in that way, if you render service to the pure devotee, then you will also get, your purification will happen. That that enjoyment seed, seed of enjoyment, that I also want to enjoy, or I also want something for me. Okay, okay, I'll render some service to the Lord, but what is for me also? That tendency, what is in it for me, that tendency will get purified, as you come in touch with pure devotees, as you serve them, and that tendency will get purified, and then you can also get pure devotion in your heart.
Like you see, when a student goes to college, a boy goes to college, and they start doing all sort of intoxication. Why? How does it begin? Association. What they say, the friends say, smoke a cigarette, it will be sweet. Meaty meaty lagegi. See na? So how does the people go to a wrong path? By association. And how do they make the antidote of a disease? By taking some traces of that very disease. Right? So similarly, if by association one can go to the wrong path, then similarly by association one can also perfect their life. This is the power of association. Like you see, when when we were beginning our education, back in those days, we used to read ABCD, right? A for apple, B for ball. Similarly, when we are beginning our spiritual journey, also there is ABCD, and stands for association. This is the importance of association. Like you see, one person and one fist, one person trying, this one finger trying to do something, one finger trying to push Prabhu, it won't happen. But if I use my whole fist, I don't know. Yeah. See, this is the power of association. You come with people who have the same goal. That's why people in army, they stay together. Birds of same feather flock together. Why? Because it gives them the same motivation and inspiration to achieve towards the same goal. So this is the importance of association. I heard this was a very like practical way of thinking, that if association could take you to the wrong path, then use the same concept, association, but with devotees. That is going to take you to the right path. So that's why when we are coming to temple, our main goal should be to associate with devotees. And what is this association? When Vidurji in Bhagavatam, do we know who is Vidurji? So Vidurji was one of the brothers. There were three brothers, Pandu, Dhritarashtra, and Vidur. Vidur was considered little outcast, okay, because his mother was a maid servant. He was a maid servant, Vidur's mother. So Vidurji was considered little outcast. So long story short, Vidurji went on a pilgrimage, and there he wanted to take association of a saintly person. How did he do that? By listening. By listening to what the other person was saying. So association, when we try to associate with a pure devotee, with a saintly person, we should do it by pariprashnena sevaya, by asking some inquisitive questions, like, who am I? What is my purpose? How can I perfect my life? How can I chant better rounds? How can I read better Bhagavad Gita? These type of questions, pariprashnena. You serve the person by asking inquisitive questions. Inquisitive, not about physics. You can ask him if you are inquisitive about physics. What he will be happy if you ask him? Inquisitive about Bhagavad Gita, inquisitive about the soul. This is how you take association of a pure devotee. And when you listen from that person, that is gonna divya gyan hriday prakashita. You cannot gain that knowledge. This is not, like you read a few formulas of trigonometry, read a few formulas of integration, permutation, and you just write it and, oh, okay, I'm knowledgeable. No, this is transcendental knowledge. You cannot read it. You get it by the mercy of a pure devotee. So when you are serving the pure devotee by hearing from them, asking questions, and rendering pure devotional service, then the pure devotee blesses you. He gives you his mercy. And by that mercy, that divya gyan, the transcendental knowledge, gets manifested in your heart. Getting my point? So two things we learned so far. One is what is pure devotional service, and one is association. Right? Yes.
You have heard that story of two parrots. One went to butcher and one went to king.
So you mean I'm gonna go to the butcher?
So there were two parrots. They were like twins, and then so one parrot he went to king, and one went to butcher. So in the one parrot which went to butcher, there he was hearing all kind of nonsense things like kaat do, maro, all dirty things. And where king, there was he was taught to welcome the guests, and say nice words. So they are completely changed. One he was saying kato maro, and other was saying Hare Krishna, welcome, please come, like that. So we see that how much association actually plays a very important role in our life. It is mentioned that your personality is the average of 5 people whom you closely associate with. So association is a very very important. So as Prabhu was mentioning, when you come to temple, try to associate with the devotees, hear from them, and discuss Krishna Katha. In that way, we get the because when we hear from the devotees, and because pure devotees carry Krishna in their heart, and then they can actually they can give Krishna, they can give Krishna to you. Very very important. Who has a mic now? Okay, you can read.
Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at that time associate with pure devotees and become in distress devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God, and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they are fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service.
Yeah, very important. So here, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that people may come and approach Lord due to different reasons, due to material distress or in want of money, or uh, sometimes even those who are speculative philosophers, they also get frustrated and they also come to the Supreme Lord. Anyone can come, but as soon as one comes in touch with the pure devotees, they they also become pure. For example, we see the example of Dhruv Maharaj. So Dhruv Maharaj, when he set out to see Supreme Lord in the jungle, then he met whom? Narad Muni. And then Narad Muni told him, he gave him the mantra. He taught him, okay, now you practice like this, and then you will attain the Supreme Lord. So then he followed Narad Muni. So then actually it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, after he attained the Supreme Lord, he was saying, oh, what I was aspiring for, I was looking for some broken pieces of glasses, whereas now I have got a a diamond. So I was looking for small broken pieces. So he had the desire, he had the material desire, but when he came in touch with a pure devotee, so that desire became pure. And then he no longer had that material desire. After that, he didn't want any kingdom or anything. Although he still got, Supreme Lord was merciful, he gave, because now when his desire got purified, then Krishna knows, like, okay, Krishna knows what is best for us. When he sees that some because we try to see what is good or bad from our calculation. We don't see whether it is good for my bhakti or not. We see from our angle, our narrow angle. But Krishna sees, okay, but how can this jiva come back to me? So sometimes he will put us in such a situation where it may seems that it will be difficult. It is a difficult situation, but that difficult situation is also for our upliftment. For example, if we take an analogy of, let's say there is a small child, he is trying to learn mathematics. And he's trying to learn, and he want to learn the sum, like 15 plus 14 is how much. So the father can come at once and he say it's 29, simple, it's so simple. But then will child learn? He won't be able to learn, right? So he give him time, and he allows him to practice. And in that way child learns. So similarly, sometimes we also go through situations. Lord puts us into different situations, so that we can learn. We can learn from those situations and try to depend on Supreme Lord.
Prabhu gave an example of Dhruva Maharaj, right? And what is Dhruva Maharaj comparing to glasses here? Dhruva Maharaj said, right, I came to the forest and started meditating, and then I found a jewel where I was looking for broken pieces of glasses. What was that desire which he is comparing to broken pieces of glasses? So if you had all the money in the world, What will be your dream? How like what kind of life would you want? Describe in 3 words.
Life, I want to home, car.
Yeah, home, car, and all that, right? So we're one penthouse in with the New York view, skyline view in New York. That's all. Dhruva wanted a kingdom bigger than his grandfather. You know who is his grandfather? Brahma. Like he wanted a kingdom bigger than the universe. That was his desire. That's why he went to the forest. Right?
Yeah.
And then he's saying that my desire to get a kingdom bigger than the universe is like broken pieces of glasses. Because the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord is worth much, much, much more than that. See? So this reminded me of this story. There were two old ladies, and they were very poor. They did not have anyone else to take care of. So this one lady, she went to the king and she said, "My dear king, can you help me? I'm very poor. I'm very old. I don't have anyone else to take care of me. So can you please help me?" The king said, "Yes, mother. How can he help you?" So mother said, "Can you make me one house and give me one caretaker and some money so that I have some grains or something? I will just keep eating that until I die." The king said, "Absolutely, I can do that for you." And the king did that. And then there was the second old lady. The old lady went to the king, and the king said, "Well, mother, please tell me, how can I help you? Do you want a house? Do you want a caretaker? Do you want grains? Do you want money? I can give you everything." He said, "No, I don't." She said, "I don't want all those things. What will I do with all those things? What I really want is, like my husband died in the very early stage of my marriage. I did not have any child. Can you become my son?" The king said, "Absolutely." Then this old poor lady became the Rajmata of that kingdom. She owned the king and everything that the king owned. Similarly, there are two types of people. First, we come because we want something from Krishna. But we have to go to a level when we want Krishna. When we want nothing but Krishna. Right?
Yeah. And also regarding regarding four type of people we were discussing. So um, so like there are some um, Jnani type. So there are two things like Gyan Mishrit Bhaktas, means those who are devotees but they have the Jnani tendencies, means they know that I am the spirit soul, I am and there is a supreme spirit, there is a super soul also, uh, but they don't know, like what is the clearly what is the relationship. They don't have the clear relationship, that sambandha is not there. Mm. So they also when they come in touch with pure devotees, they also can become pure devotees. And we see the example of uh, four kumaras. Four kumaras, they were earlier actually impersonalists. mm, but then they became devotees. So even those who are with impersonalist tendencies, they can also come to the platform of pure devotion service. So it is just Prabhupada is mentioning that anyone in any level, there is no problem. Anyone can actually come to the platform of pure bhakti. There is no problem, but one has to, one doesn't have to be stuck into that level. One has to transcend beyond these levels. Yeah. This we read, no?
Finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Therefore, like we come to Krishna consciousness because we belong to those four categories. We are distressed, we want wealth, we want, we are inquisitive, or we are looking for knowledge. That's how we come in contact. But we cannot stay in Krishna consciousness if we are gonna have the same vicious cycle. I'm gonna ask you fulfill. I'm gonna ask you fulfill. I'm gonna ask you. You're gonna fulfill. This is not a very sustainable process. Therefore, you come into Krishna consciousness because you are distressed. But, well, once the distress goes away, you can also go away. You come into Krishna consciousness because you had a breakup, then you are going to meet another person and you are going to move on. No more temple. Right? So, therefore, distress comes to our life with a purpose. We face challenges, we face failures because of a reason. And one of the most important activity of fighting failure is to learn a lesson from it. To learn a lesson for it. As they say that if you do it once, it's a mistake. If you do it twice, it's carelessness. If you do it thrice, it's your habit. It's your habit. It's your tendency. So similarly, an intelligent person never repeats their mistake. So whatever failure comes to our life, whatever challenge comes to our life, it's because some of our setbacks, some of our drawbacks. And our one main work, our main task is to identify where I went wrong and take a lesson from it. Therefore, so many things happen in our life, and the best thing we can do is to share it with Krishna, is to take shelter of Krishna, share it with pure devotees of the Lord, who can actually guide us in the right way. Right? And then going to a level, slowly purifying this cycle that, well, I came here because I was distressed, because that is not sustainable. Well, you came for wealth, right? You wanted wealth, that's why you came here. Well, okay, Krishna is gonna give you all the wealth, $50 million. You're gonna win a lottery. Gone. So do you think you want to be so poor, so poor, so poor in this material world that all you will have is $50 million? Really? Like, we have to understand the life that we have gotten, how important it is. After 1.8 million species, we have gotten this human form of life. And the next you are going to get depends upon what you do in this life. If you do something, some pious activity, and you have done something which is favorable to Krishna consciousness, then Krishna might give you another chance in a human form of life where you might have a chance to perform to perform Krishna consciousness. But if not, let's agree that if I die right now, no way I am getting a human form of life. We have so much, so many past karmas that we have, right? So we have gotten this life after 1.8 million species. I'm sorry? 8.4, sorry, 8.4. 8.4 million species. 1.8. It's much more than that. It's even scarier now. So 8.4 million species. What's going to happen next, we don't know. And this life is also uncertain. Right? When death is going to come, we don't know. It might come after 10 years. It might come after 10 days. Maybe after 10 minutes. Right? So it is very important. See, we had Sukriti, that's why we came into Krishna consciousness. Right? And now we have more Sukriti that we are able to read Srimad Bhagavad Gita and get association of devotees. And after all these good fortune, it will be a big misfortune if we don't hold on to it, if we don't grab that opportunity that we have. Right? Which is to transcend from this platform of transactional relationship with Krishna. The relationship in this material world with everyone that you have is transactional, right? So when I work, my boss tells me, well, when you're trying to sell something, always first put in table what's in there for them. What's in there for them. Then they're going to show interest. So every relationship in this material world is pretty transactional. Well, I'm going to love you, but what are you going to give me? Are you going to love me? No. What Mahaprabhu is teaching in Sikshastakam, Aslishyava padratang pinashtama adarsanang marmahatam karotuba yatha tathava vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu saevana. Doesn't matter what you do with me. You can handle me with care, or you can handle me roughly. You still are going to remain the love of my life. You are still going to remain the Lord of my life, my worshipable Lord. This is the kind of love we are talking about, that we want to inculcate for the Lord, and which is going to happen through two things we learned today. One, service. Another one, association. Right?
Yeah. Also, adding to this point, if we for the beginning, as we said, for the beginning it is okay, people approach the Supreme Lord, but as as we grow in in our practices, we should try to go over that. We should try to aspire for the pure bhakti, because if we are asking Krishna, something very insignificant, because for Krishna, who is a master of all universes, he's a controller of all universes, and we are asking some peanuts. Whatever we asking is very insignificant. Then actually we are in the same position as like that old lady, who is asking that give me some house or some grains, which may last for few days or a few months, let's say. Then again the same thing will come. So if we have to go beyond this birth and death, and actually it's all about devotion is the matter of heart, actually. Actually, to give devotion, it doesn't require much. Even a small child can render devotion service. If you have, we see sometimes some small little boys, they are offering chamar to the Lord, or they are doing some arti with the broken words. So Krishna is not looking for how much scholarship you have, how nicely you can chant the Vedic mantras, or how much money you can give. If you have and you can give, that's good. But but he doesn't require that. He only require the the heart of the devotee, how much heart you are putting. So that's and Krishna is very easy to please. He's himself saying in Bhagavad Gita, patram pushpam phalam toyam. It's very easy to please Krishna. We just have to give our heart to Krishna. Yeah. So yeah, so again stressing the same point, that coming to association of devotees and in touch with Krishna consciousness is fortunate. We are very fortunate. But now we have to take this opportunity, take this from this position we have to go, that we don't have to stuck in this. Mm. Like someone asked Srila Prabhupada that when some people left Krishna consciousness, that Swamiji, so many people are leaving the moment. I'm very surprised. So Srila Prabhupada said, don't be surprised by how many people leave the moment. Be surprised to see how many are staying back. Because Krishna is mentioning the Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatiti Siddhai Yatamapi Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tattvata. So only very, very few souls are there, who are coming in touch with Krishna consciousness. So you are fortunate enough. So now take this opportunity to make your life perfect and practice bhakti. How you make your life perfect? By practicing bhakti.
Yeah, usually in the beginning stage of bhakti, when we are trying to begin, we think, oh, chanting and reading Bhagavad Gita, that's a big activity. That's again another thing in my to-do list. I already have so many things. I have to do this assignment, I have to go to that meeting, I have to, look for jobs and all those things. Why? Because we think that Krishna consciousness is a supplementary activity. It's an addition. But in reality, Krishna consciousness is a complementary activity. We were discussing this yesterday in Harrison, right? Krishna consciousness is a complementary activity. Do we understand what's the difference between complementary and supplementary? So supplementary is an addition, unnecessary addition. And complementary is a very thoughtful addition that increases utility, that increases satisfaction of the person. Like you eat chai, you drink chai. With chai, you have mango juice, mango shake, mango milkshake. So they don't really go together. It's just, you are going extra mile to digest both the things. But if you add little namkeen samosa with the chai, what actually happens? it increases the satisfaction. It increases the enjoyment that you get while drinking chai. You're getting a bite and you are, it increases the utility. Similarly, when we do Krishna consciousness, it helps us perform our material duties even better. If you are a student and you are chanting at minimum 2 rounds, you know how much time it takes to chant 2 rounds? 15 minutes. If you do it 15 minutes, 20 minutes are also fine, you can do it in 15 minutes also. Right? So 15 minutes. 15 minutes it takes you to chant 2 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And what do you get in return? What do you get in return? You can focus well. You get rid of all your distractions. Actually, when I was in college, I used to chant more than 16 rounds when my exams were going on. Because I used to study and I used to take breaks in between. And I had two options. Either I would scroll reels on Instagram or I could chant. I used to take 15 minutes breaks and I used to chant 2 rounds. So that way I used to chant way past 16 rounds, especially during exams. Why? Because it helps you rewind, it helps you unwind, it helps you rejuvenate your concentration in a very material platform. And in the spiritual platform, what happens? It gives you confidence. That's in the gross level. You concentrate and everything. In the more subtle level, what happens? It gives you confidence. It connects you with the higher power, right? Because you situate yourself in a place, you situate yourself in knowledge, basically. Like I was telling the other day that when I was applying to jobs, I called Arjunan through and I said, Prabhu, I have this interview tomorrow. I feel I'm completely prepared for that, but somehow I'm very nervous. And then Arjunan through told me, Prabhu, to be completely prepared, to be fully prepared means to be bereft of all worries, to get rid of all anxieties, to not think about the fruits. Because you have given your best. Now Krishna will do the rest. Right? That's all we can do. We cannot do the better than the best. Right? So when we actually situate ourselves in knowledge that all I have control is in my mere efforts, then what? We are okay. Then if Krishna wants, then I'm going to get it. If not, then I'm not going to get it. It is going to give us that peace. It is going to give us the strength to walk through the rain when things are not very smooth, through the turbulences. It's going to help us persevere. Like I was telling the story yesterday, there was this little girl and this elderly person. They were sitting in a flight together. When they were in the flight, they faced some turbulence. The flight started shaking, like almost every other flight in India right now or in the world. So they had started having some turbulence, and this old man and everyone else in that flight started being anxious and panicking. Oh my God, where is my bead bag? Let me send a message to my child. Let me tell my wife that I loved her. Let me text my dad finally that okay, whatever you did is fine. All those things, they were busy connecting. And someone was praying, someone was texting. And there was this little girl who was situated, who was sitting in her seat, reading her book, doing a little drawing, filling her color in those coloring books, and she was peaceful. And then finally the turbulence went away. The flight was back to normal. So elderly person went and asked, so how could you be so normal? How could you be so peaceful? Then the little girl said that, well, the pilot of this flight is my dad. I don't know about all of you, but for me, this flight was destined to land. Why? Because this little girl had so much faith in her father. Yeah, I don't know, but I was sure that my dad would have landed this flight because I was sitting in that flight. The beloved child of that, the beloved daughter of that pilot was sitting in the flight. Similarly, we often try to row our boat by ourselves. We are doing this. How much can we possibly do? How much strength do we have ourselves to continuously row the boat? This is not a small ocean. This is a Bhava Sagar. That's what they call it. The ocean of material existence. That's what it's a big ocean. Have you ever seen a person rowing in an ocean? It's foolish. You cannot cross the ocean by rowing a boat. But what does Krishna say? That if you take shelter of me, what will happen? This whole material existence, ocean of material existence, will become like a hoof of a horse. Huh?
Calf.
Of a calf? Of a calf. It will become like a hoof of a calf. It will become small, it will shrink for you. So technically what will happen? Krishna will pick you up and throw? No. You will have to row your boat. But the end point will come closer. Getting my point? So this is the importance of connecting with the divine. This is the importance of making Krishna like the old lady, the second old lady did. Making a relationship with Krishna, sambandha. It's the first thing we have to do. We have to establish a relationship with Krishna.
We will pause here, and if there are any questions or anyone wants to give any comment or reflection, so yeah, please, you're most welcome. If not, then we'll ask questions.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one.
Rohit bro, share some reflections.
Reflection, realization.
Actually, one thing we can do, so actually today we have planned that we'll take prasadam here only.
Achha.
So maybe what we can do, we can sit in circles, like and we can have reflections sharing at that time.
Okay.
So we can I think they already serving here.
Yeah.
And then